The complete guide to maintaining a clean home. 10 life-changing habits that actually work. Most people think keeping a clean home requires hours of daily effort or some magical organizational gene they weren't born with. The truth is, maintaining a tidy space comes down to following simple systems that work with your lifestyle, not against it. Mark is here from Seniors Cleaning Hacks, and after helping thousands of people transform their homes over nearly a decade, I've identified the exact habits that make the biggest difference. These aren't just cleaning tips, these are proven strategies that will fundamentally change how you approach your living space. If these habits help you take control of your home, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our practical cleaning solutions. Drop a like if you're ready to transform your space, and don't forget to share this with anyone who's struggling to keep their home organized. Habit number 1. Master the flat system for overwhelming spaces. Let me introduce you to a framework I developed specifically for those moments when your home feels completely out of control. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Those days when the kids have been home playing all day, you've cooked multiple meals, bedtime was chaotic, and you finally walk downstairs to find your house looking like a disaster zone hit it. You stand there feeling paralyzed, not knowing where to begin. This is precisely when you need the FLAT system. FLAT is an acronym that stands for Flat Surfaces, Localize, Avoid Distractions, and Tackle in 5. Each component serves a specific purpose in helping you regain control without feeling overwhelmed.
The F in FLAT. Focus on flat surfaces. Start by directing all your attention to flat surfaces only. This means countertops, tables, and floors. You're not deep cleaning anything right now. You're not scrubbing counters or mopping floors. You're simply removing items that don't belong on these surfaces. When you're in the kitchen, take dirty dishes and place them in the sink, but don't wash them yet. If you spot dirty socks on the living room floor, toss them in the laundry hamper, but don't start a load of laundry. The key principle here is maintaining focus solely on clearing flat surfaces. Every time you feel tempted to start another task, remind yourself that you're only dealing with flat surfaces right now. This approach works because flat surfaces are what our eyes naturally focus on when we enter a room. When these surfaces are clear, the entire space immediately feels more manageable and less chaotic. The L in FLAT. Localize your efforts. Localization means working through your home one room at a time, completing all flat surfaces in that area before moving to the next space. Start with the kitchen and finish every flat surface there before heading to the dining room. Complete the dining room before tackling the living room. This prevents you from wandering aimlessly throughout your house, which is incredibly easy to do when cleaning. One task leads to another, which leads to another, and suddenly you've created a waterfall of projects scattered across multiple rooms. Here's a practical technique I use. Think of yourself as sweeping items toward their destination rather than immediately putting them away. If you're working in the kitchen and you have toys that belong in the playroom, don't walk all the way to the playroom yet. Instead, gather them and move them toward the kitchen exit that's closest to the playroom. This prevents you from entering the playroom prematurely and getting distracted by cleaning needs in that space. When you eventually move to the playroom, you'll take that pile with you and handle everything at once.
The A in FLAT. Avoid distractions. Avoiding distractions is crucial for maintaining momentum. Remember those toys we swept toward the playroom? We didn't enter that room because once you're inside, it's incredibly tempting to start organizing or cleaning things that aren't part of your current focus. Maybe you're clearing the dining room table and notice a significant spill that needs wiping. Resist the urge to clean it right now. You're focused on flat surfaces, picking things up and removing them. The actual cleaning can happen later. These side quests, as I call them, are productivity killers. They fragment your attention and prevent you from completing your main objective. Stay disciplined and stick to your flat surface mission. The T in FLAT. Tackle in 5-minute blocks. Set a timer for 5 minutes per room. Give yourself 5 minutes to clear flat surfaces in the kitchen, 5 minutes for the dining room, 5 minutes for the living room. Why does this work so effectively? Our brains respond extremely well to defined time boundaries. When a task feels overwhelming and has no clear endpoint, we often struggle to even begin. But when you commit to just 5 minutes, that's manageable for anyone. Your brain thinks, I can definitely handle 5 minutes. These concrete time markers eliminate the feeling of an endless, insurmountable task. You know exactly when you're starting and when you're stopping. Often, once you complete those 5 minutes and see the progress you've made, you'll feel motivated to continue. The flat system transforms overwhelming spaces into manageable projects. Remember it whenever you feel paralyzed by mess. Flat surfaces, localize, avoid distractions, tackle in 5. Before we continue with the remaining habits, if you're finding this helpful, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to Seniors Cleaning Hacks. Your support helps us create more practical content that actually works in real homes.
Habit number 2. Embrace the less is more philosophy. Recently, someone interviewed me for a podcast about organization and decluttering. They asked me an excellent question. If someone feels completely overwhelmed by space, and you could only give them one single piece of advice, what would it be? My answer was immediate. You probably have too much stuff in that space. This might sound obvious, but it's a truth many people resist acknowledging. The fundamental reality is this. The less you have to manage, the less time managing it takes, and the easier maintenance becomes. If you have a space that perpetually feels impossible to organize, that constantly becomes messy again despite your best efforts, the problem isn't your organizational skills or your lack of discipline. The problem is almost certainly that you have too much stuff occupying that space. Here's something critical to understand. You cannot organize clutter. Organizational systems only work effectively when you have a reasonable amount of items to organize. If you're trying to organize excess, you're fighting a losing battle. Before implementing organizational systems, you need to declutter first. Sometimes this means removing items entirely. Sometimes it means significantly reducing the quantity of items in that space. Either way, you must address the volume issue before organization can succeed.
Habit number 3. The fill the bag rule. This habit is one I implement at least monthly, sometimes even weekly. It's incredibly simple but remarkably effective. Take a bag, any bag will work, and walk through your space with one of 3 specific missions. Mission 1. Items that belong elsewhere. Fill your bag with things that don't belong in the current space. These are items that have migrated from their proper homes and need to return. Once your bag is full, walk through your house, quickly returning each item to its correct location. This is different from the FLAT system because you're not working room by room. You're collecting displaced items from throughout your home and redistributing them properly. Mission 2. Trash. Fill your bag with garbage, items that serve no purpose, things you can immediately remove from your home. You'd be amazed how much unnecessary stuff accumulates in our living spaces without us really noticing. Old receipts, broken items, packaging materials, expired products, all of it goes in the bag. Once the bag is full, take it directly to your outdoor trash. Don't let it sit around. Mission 3. Donations. Fill your bag with items you no longer need or use, but that still have value for someone else. Clothes that don't fit, duplicate kitchen items, toys your children have outgrown, books you'll never read again. Anything that's occupying valuable space in your home without serving a current purpose. The crucial part of this mission is follow-through. Once your bag is full, immediately place it in your car. Don't let it sit in your home for weeks. The next time you're out running errands, drop it at your local donation center. The fill the bag rule works because it gives you a concrete, achievable goal. One bag. That's manageable and doesn't feel overwhelming.
Habit number 4. Establish non-negotiables. Non-negotiables are specific tasks you complete every single day, regardless of how tired you are, how busy your schedule is, or how messy the rest of your house might be. If you've watched my content before, you know my very first non-negotiable was what I call the kitchen sink rule. This rule was simple. I never go to bed with a dirty kitchen sink. This was back when I was someone who felt perpetually disorganized, someone who believed that having a truly tidy home was an impossible fantasy. The state of my house was making me miserable. I particularly hated coming downstairs each morning to face a messy kitchen and a generally chaotic house. So I created my first non-negotiable. No matter how exhausted I felt at the end of the day, no matter how messy other areas of my home were, I would not go to bed until my kitchen sink was clean. This forced me to wash and put away dishes and wipe down the sink area every single night. Something remarkable happens when you establish non-negotiables. They create a ripple effect. One consistent habit typically leads to additional good habits. These behaviors start compounding on each other. Here are some examples of effective non-negotiables. Complete a 10-minute tidy before leaving for work each morning. Do a 15-minute cleanup before bed each night. Switch laundry first thing every morning. Put away one load of laundry every evening. Clear your bathroom counter after getting ready each morning. Process all mail on the day it arrives. The key is identifying what matters most to you and making those tasks non-negotiable parts of your routine. If you're completely new to this concept, I strongly recommend starting with just one non-negotiable. For me, it was the kitchen sink. I started there, and over time, I developed numerous other non-negotiables that now run throughout my day. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to establish 5 non-negotiables simultaneously. Pick one, commit to it completely, and watch how it naturally expands into other positive habits. Comment below and let me know what non-negotiable you're going to start with. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We share practical cleaning habits like this regularly on Seniors Cleaning Hacks.
Habit number 5. Prioritize flat surfaces daily. You've already heard me discuss flat surfaces in the flat system, but this concept deserves its own dedicated habit because it's that important for daily maintenance. Even when your home isn't in crisis mode, even when things aren't overwhelming, you should constantly be thinking about flat surfaces throughout your day. This should become almost automatic. You notice something on a flat surface that doesn't belong there, and you immediately address it. The more you practice this awareness, the more habitual it becomes. You'll start naturally noticing when counters have accumulated items, when floors need clearing, when tables are getting cluttered. Why are flat surfaces so important? 2 main reasons. Reason 1. Cluttered spaces affect our mental state. Research has proven that when we look at cluttered spaces, it negatively impacts our psychological well-being. Cluttered environments have been linked to increased procrastination, poor eating habits, reduced sleep quality, and elevated cortisol levels, our stress hormone. Simply by clearing flat surfaces and removing visual excess, you can instantly make a room feel more peaceful and manageable. This isn't just about aesthetics, it's about creating an environment that supports your mental health and motivation. When you clear those surfaces, you'll often feel an immediate boost in energy and motivation. You feel more capable of tackling additional tasks. The room transforms from overwhelming to achievable. Reason 2. Clutter attracts more clutter. This is a principle I've observed countless times. Clutter attracts clutter. If a countertop already has miscellaneous items scattered across it, adding more items doesn't really register visually. The new clutter just blends into the existing mess. It becomes invisible, and the pile grows progressively worse. However, if you maintain a generally clear countertop and then something gets placed on it, that item stands out dramatically. It's immediately noticeable. More importantly, because it's just 1 or 2 items rather than a massive pile, dealing with it feels completely manageable. This is why maintaining clear, flat surfaces actually makes keeping your home tidy easier over time. You catch small messes before they become large messes. You address clutter when it's still manageable rather than waiting until it's overwhelming. Habit number 6.
Use timers strategically. Earlier I mentioned that our brains love concrete time markers. This is why New Year's resolutions feel so appealing. January 1st represents a clear starting point. It's why people love starting diets or new exercise programs on Mondays. We're drawn to defined beginnings and endings because they help us mentally frame our efforts. You can harness this psychological tendency by using timers for any cleaning or organizing task. Whenever you feel overwhelmed by what needs to be done, set a timer. It can be 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever feels manageable in that moment. The specific duration matters less than having a defined endpoint. For many people, the sheer volume of tasks that need attention creates a mental block. Your brain looks at everything that needs doing and essentially decides, I don't have time for this right now. So you avoid starting entirely, unconsciously pushing the task further down the road. But when you set a timer, even just for 3 minutes, your brain suddenly thinks, okay, I can definitely spare 3 minutes. That feels achievable. You've removed the barrier of undefined time commitment. Additionally, even if you don't completely finish the task when the timer goes off, you're still 3 minutes better off than you were before. That's progress. Often, once the timer ends and you see how much you've accomplished, you'll feel motivated to continue. I use timers constantly throughout my day, and they've genuinely transformed my productivity with household tasks. Try it yourself and watch how much easier it becomes to start tasks that previously felt daunting. Share this video with someone who struggles with getting started on cleaning tasks. Timers might be exactly what they need.
Habit number 7. Accept that you'll never feel like doing it. This is a mantra that has completely changed my relationship with household tasks. You're never going to feel like it. Our homes require constant care tasks throughout every single day. Taking out trash, putting away laundry, washing dishes, wiping down surfaces, tidying rooms. The list is endless. It's incredibly easy to defer these tasks, telling yourself you'll handle them later. I'll take out the trash when I get home from work. I'll put away the laundry tomorrow morning. I'll do the dishes after dinner. Well, sometimes we genuinely must delay tasks due to time constraints. More often, these deferrals are simply avoidance. And here's what I've realized. If you don't feel like taking out the trash right now, you're not going to feel like taking it out later either. If you don't want to put away laundry in this moment, you won't want to do it tomorrow morning either. The desire to do these tasks won't magically appear later. You're never going to feel like it, so you might as well just handle it now. This connects to another principle I frequently reference. Do something today that tomorrow you will thank you for. If I complete the task now, tomorrow me doesn't have to worry about it. And tomorrow me definitely won't want to do it anyway, so present me should just take care of it. This mindset shift, recognizing that motivation won't spontaneously arrive later, has been incredibly powerful for me. When I catch myself thinking, I'll do that later, I immediately counter with, I'm never going to feel like it, so I should just do it now. Try adopting this mantra yourself. When you notice the urge to defer a household task, remind yourself, you're never going to feel like it. Then, just handle it. Habit number 8. Give everything a designated home. This might sound like standard organizing advice you've heard repeatedly, but its importance cannot be overstated. Items need specific places where they belong. Without designated homes, things will perpetually end up scattered across counters and cluttering your spaces. When something is sitting out in your home, there are only 3 possible explanations. It doesn't belong in that location. You need to address it, either use it or discard it, or it doesn't have a designated home. If items don't have clear storage locations, they'll never get put away properly. They'll constantly contribute to surface clutter. Here's something crucial. Give things homes where you actually use them, not necessarily where you think they'll look attractive or where they should logically be stored. If you use something daily in the kitchen, store it in the kitchen, not in a closet down the hall, just because that seems like the proper place for it. When items are stored where you use them, you're exponentially more likely to return them to their designated spots after use. Giving everything a home does not require Pinterest-perfect organization. You don't need matching containers, color-coded labels, or aesthetically pleasing storage systems. Those things are fine if they appeal to you, but they're not necessary. You can absolutely use mismatched baskets from thrift stores. You can handwrite labels on masking tape. The visual aesthetic doesn't matter nearly as much as the functionality of having designated storage locations. The goal is ensuring every item you own has a specific place it belongs and that you can easily access and return items to those places. Make sure to like this video if you're learning valuable habits from seniors' cleaning hacks, and subscribe so we can help you create more functional systems in your home.
Habit number 9. Abandon the pursuit of perfection. Building on the previous habit about giving everything a home, I want to emphasize this crucial concept. Perfection is never the purpose or the ultimate goal. Perfection is literally impossible if you're actively living in your home. If you're cooking meals, hosting friends, raising children, pursuing hobbies, actually using your space for life, it will not remain in perfect condition constantly. And that's completely fine. The Pinterest perfect aesthetic you see in magazines and social media is not a realistic standard for actual daily living. Those images are staged moments, not sustainable realities. Your goal should not be perfection. Your goal should be creating manageable systems that keep your home running smoothly. Let me give you a concrete example from my own life, my children's playroom. This playroom will never appear in a design magazine. It's not going to win any aesthetic awards. But here's what matters. No matter how chaotic that room becomes, even after a long, rainy weekend when my kids played in there constantly, I can restore it to baseline cleanliness in approximately 10 minutes. How is this possible? Because of how the systems are designed. I use clear storage bins so both my children and I can easily see contents. The bins and shelves are labeled, making it simple to return items to correct locations. I've removed all excess items, those random toys with tiny pieces that nobody really plays with, but that take forever to clean up. We've focused solely on toys my children actively use and can play with independently for extended periods. Everything has a designated home. The result? It's not visually stunning, but it's incredibly functional and easy to maintain. That's what you should prioritize: functionality and manageability over perfection.
Habit number 10. Regularly revisit and adjust your systems. The final habit is understanding that organizational systems require regular revision. This is especially true as you move through different life seasons, or even through actual seasonal changes. Systems that worked perfectly 6 months ago might no longer serve you well. That doesn't mean you failed at organization. It simply means your life has evolved and your systems need to evolve with it. Recently on the Just for Moms podcast that I'm part of, one host named Charlotte shared a perfect example. She's been exercising much more frequently lately, but all her workout equipment is stored on a high shelf that requires a step stool to access. In a previous life season, when she wasn't exercising regularly, that storage location made complete sense. But now that she's using this equipment daily, it needs to move to an easily accessible location at eye level. That's system revision in action. Seasonal changes offer another clear example. In winter, your boots should probably be stored at eye level, near your main entrance for easy access. In summer, those boots can move to less accessible storage, while your sandals take the prime spot. For me, system revision has been constant as my family has grown. My playroom organizational structure has changed dramatically from when I had 1 child to 2 children to 3 to 4. Each addition required adjusting how the space functions to accommodate multiple ages and increased volume of toys. If a system stops working, it doesn't indicate personal failure. It doesn't mean you're bad at organization. It simply means the system no longer matches your current needs. Expect to regularly evaluate and adjust your organizational structures as your life changes. This is normal and healthy. Stay flexible and willing to modify what isn't working.
Moving forward, implementing these habits. These 10 habits represent the most impactful strategies I've used over nearly a decade of helping people transform their homes. They're not complicated or expensive to implement. They don't require special products or significant time investments. What they require is consistency and a willingness to shift your mindset about how you approach your home. Start with one habit, perhaps establishing your first non-negotiable, or beginning to use timers for overwhelming tasks. As that habit becomes natural, add another. Let these practices build on each other gradually. Remember, the goal isn't perfection. The goal is creating a home environment that feels manageable and supports your well-being rather than constantly stressing you out. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to Seniors Cleaning Hacks so you don't miss future practical content. Hit that like button if these habits resonated with you, and share this video with anyone who's struggling to maintain their home. Drop a comment below telling me which habit you're going to implement first. I read every comment and love hearing about what works for different people. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Remember to be kind to yourself and others. Your home doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to work for you and your life. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll tackle more practical solutions for real-world cleaning challenges.